Black Desert Online sees an increase of 300% in new players. We get a progress report in Final Fantasy XVI's development. Death Stranding gets a director's cut. Can we call Final Fantasy XIV Online the WoW killer? And Genshin Impact's biggest update since its launch is coming out later this month. Hello everyone, my name is Solomon SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news, trends, and updates for the RPG gaming genre, including MMOs, survival, online JRPGs, and the like. I went ahead and gathered some of the more popular RPG articles so far this week, and if you want to go over them with me with a cup of coffee, of course, let's go over them together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and kick things off with the first part of our video, which is quick news and headlines. First, starting off with an article here from PCGamer.com, and this is definitely for all the anime and Witcher fans out there, as it says here that The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf anime releases on Netflix in August. Next, from MMORPG.com, and it says here that Black Desert sees 300% increase in new players, and this is thanks to their new Corsair class, and I have explained this in my previous video. I think it's a very solid class, very fun class to play, and obviously they got the season servers going on right now as well. And an article here from MassivelyOP.com says here that there is a PSA where Final Fantasy XIV is hosting another 2-week-long free login campaign for lapsed accounts, and it's definitely you'd ought to do considering Final Fantasy XIV is getting really popular these days. And to all the Blade and Soul fans out there, we got Endless Night, which launches on July 14th, bringing the Warlock's third specialization to the MMO. And really quick, it says here that the new class specialization brings with it the ability to wield a great scythe in a Reaver stance, dealing damage to their foes with spiritual attacks. I think that's actually pretty cool. If you didn't know already, the devs over from Final Fantasy XIV did a 14-hour broadcast just pretty much giving you new information and answering questions. And in this article, it says that Final Fantasy XIV scenario complete, a voice recording in final stages, and more. And yes, this actually includes the English voiceover as well. Next up, Square Enix launches a celebration and countdown hub for Final Fantasy XI's upcoming 20th anniversary, which is pretty much insane to me right now, that this game is actually older than a lot of my viewers who might be watching this video right now. Oh, that is just mind-blowing to me. Next, we got Death Stranding's director's cut, which adds cargo, catapults, and racing, and I would expect nothing less from the mind of Hideo Kojima. And Baldur's Gate 3 will release hopefully somewhere in 2022. Meanwhile, patch 5 will change dice mechanics, camping, disengage actions, and more. And we got some new information for all the Ragnarok fans out there, as Ragnarok X Next Generation showcases sort of their character building aspect of the game, but unfortunately this is just a mobile platform title, but anyways, moving on. Next, heading on over to part 2 of today's video, which is the main headlines and news for this week. And first, starting off from MassivelyOP.com, we have an article here that says Lost Ark outlines its 5 base classes, says more will come after launch. Now, if you didn't know already, each class does have various subclasses or branches as well, and it goes on to say that there is one, the warrior class, which branches out into the berserker, paladin, and gunlancer, and I have to admit, gunlancer sounds like an awesome class just by that name by itself. The second one is the martial artist, which transforms into a wand dancer, scrapper, or soul fist. The third one is the mage, which can become a bard or a summoner. Another class I might be really interested in, just pet classes in general is something that I really do enjoy playing. The fourth one is the gunner, which gets the gunslinger, the artillerist, deadeye, and sharpshooter, with the last one being the assassin, which graduates into a shadow hunter or deathblade. But the article does question why 5. Well, their answer here is due to balance issues. Upcoming changes to these classes and localization requirements is something that they have to consider. So a lot of these classes actually might be going through some continual changes themselves from the other versions of the game of various regions that we have out right now, and so maybe they just didn't want to deal with the logistics of having to constantly change the class over and over and over again. And so, I mean, it's a pretty solid answer in my opinion, but there's also another side of me that says like, oh, they're just trying to milk it, try to get players to play this game for as long as they can, and so when a new class comes and you got other influx of players coming in because of the new classes and whatnot, but either way, I'm okay with it, to be honest with you. Next, we got an article from Destructoid.com, and it says here that Final Fantasy XIV stream numbers surge to record high as game continues to grow, and The biggest reason so far, in my opinion, has to do with Asmongold, as he's been streaming this game as of late. And yeah, those numbers, as it says here towards the bottom, they were well over 48,000. And as far as I can tell, as much time I've been spending time on Twitch, I don't think Final Fantasy XIV has ever seen those numbers. Typically, it would actually get more similar numbers to Black Desert Online, which is about 5,000 viewers on any given part of the day, but yeah, that's clearly not the case anymore. If you grew up on MMORPGs like me, there were a lot of companies trying to pump out MMOs that will topple World of Warcraft because they've been the top dog for the longest time. And so when a new MMO would come out, everybody would say, is this going to be the WoW killer? Is this going to be the WoW killer? And I don't know, maybe Final Fantasy XIV Online is finally the WoW killer that we've all wanted or expected or something like that. It only took almost 2 decades. But either way, that's not to take anything from World of Warcraft. They're still a tremendously successful MMORPG. Maybe they just kind of have to change things up a little bit here and there to kind of recapture or rekindle that MMO population. Next, we got an article from allchar.com, and as always, I do apologize that the title is cut off on the right there. But it says here that Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin now available, first TU coming soon. Now it goes on to say that Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wing of Ruin is now available for the Nintendo Switch and the PC, and the game now offers co-op and PvP battles. And as always, I do have the trailer playing above me, but you could also take a closer look yourself by clicking on the link down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a closer look. And really quick, in terms of the story, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin has the game starting out with a player giving an unhatched Rathalos egg and sets off to solve the mystery of the disappearing Rathalos. And I don't know, it's kind of ironic to me considering this is Monster Hunter and you're saving an endangered species, I guess, which you're not supposed to hunt, but anyways, what do I know? Now, if this is a game that you want to try out but just still unsure, well, it says here that a free demo of Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin is now available on Switch and the Steam platform as well, but all progress made in the demo can be carried over when you actually fully purchase the game, which is really nice. This is something we've been seeing a lot of, and I think it's actually a really cool idea. The biggest one, in my opinion, so far that done this successfully would be Outriders. And heading back to top system available and the Brotherhood of Steel storyline finale. And yes, the storyline is based on the choices that you made during the previous content or previous season or whatever you want to call it during Steel Dawn. And the game also is, like I said before, introducing the legendary crafting system, which lets you upgrade regular items into legendary ones or reroll stats on existing legendaries. I'm not gonna lie, I look forward to playing this game finally, or eventually rather. Ever since its launch, I had a very negative perception of the game, but after the content has been rolling out and after they've been patching it and fixing all the bugs and whatnot, it actually looks like a pretty solid game right now. It may not have the Cinderella story that other games have, such as Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky, but either way, I think it's in a pretty solid state right now, and so I'm gonna have to give it a try for sure just to see what it's all about, considering I'm a huge Fallout fan myself. But yeah, never really played this game, unfortunately. But if you have, let me know down in the comment section below, like what to expect and what I should do, and if it's at all overall generally a good game now. Now, not really particularly RPG news, but I thought I'd cover it anyways, just because, well, this is Amazon that we were talking about, and it says here that Amazon makes its Lumberyard game engine open source, and it's already supported by 20 companies. Now, if you didn't know, Star Citizen actually utilizes the Lumberyard game engine, and I have to admit, I actually did not know anything about this game engine until Star Citizen was coming out with the alphas and whatnot, and I must say it's one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever played so far, even in its alpha stage. And again, I know Star Citizen is one of those games that you either love to hate or love to love, and that's totally fine, but just looking at how gorgeous the game looks in terms of the planets, the settings, the atmosphere, the ships, and just the overall ambiance of the game, it just truly looks remarkable. Now, is this engine comparable to say something like the Unreal Engine 5 that's going to be coming out next year? I don't know, because the Unreal Engine 5 looks extremely impressive too. But either way, the Lumberyard, given my biases and experiences so far, is an engine that I really hope a lot more companies will eventually start using too as well, just because it's one of those things where I fully get immersed in the universe if utilized correctly. And again, not necessarily RPG news, but I thought I'd cover it anyways, just because a lot of us are PC PC gamers here on this channel. It says here from PCGamer.com that yes, Windows 11 will let you roll back to Windows 10, but you have to decide fast. And really quick tidbit about the Windows 11 operating system. Microsoft has promised to deliver a finalized version of Windows 11 by the end of this year in 2021, possibly by late October, around the same time Intel's next-gen Alder Lake CPU arrives. And yeah, I didn't even know about their new CPUs that are arriving, which is really good news to hear, considering that AMD has been killing it in the market right now, in my opinion. But anyways, that's another story. But what if you upgrade and immediately regret the decision? Well, the good news is that you can roll back to Windows 10 with all your data and programs, intact. You just have to be really fast about it. As it says here, there is a 10-day period where you can move back to Windows 10 while keeping files and data that you brought along with you. After the initial grace period, Microsoft says that you will have to manually back up your data and perform a clean installation of Windows 10 if you're not just digging the Windows 11 after those 10 days. And so, yep, just wanted to let you know. I mean, I plan on upgrading, we'll see, but in case you don't want to or you regret that decision, you know, you got the information here. And for the last part, the third part of today's video, we got the thumbnail news article of the day, and it says here that Genshin Impact is bringing the city of Inazuma and its surrounding region on July 21st, and yes, this is Genshin Impact's update 2.0 to be exact. And it goes on to say here that the new update titled The Immovable God and the Eternal Euthymia? Anyways, that or just version 2.0, which I'll be calling that just because it's a lot more simpler, again, depending on your mood, brings players across the sea to the Japanese-inspired city of Inazuma and its 6 main islands, with quests that promise to uncover the culture, the history, and connection to the Electro Archon who rules the region. Players can also look forward to new bosses like the Pyro Hypostasis, the Perpetual Mechanical Array, as well as the Mangu Kenki, I believe that's how you say it. Now, obviously, I do have the trailer playing above me as always, but again, I'll have a link to this article down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a closer look, as there is a link to the actual official trailer for this 2.0 update that we will be getting, excuse me. And from an article from allchart.com, we have here, still talking about Genshin Impact Update 2.0, it says that MiHoYo also introduced to us 3 new reliable companions named Ayaka Yoima, as well as Seiyu from Inazuma, and that Yoima is a brand new 5-star pyro archer specializing in fireworks, while the last character, Seiyu, is a 4-star ninja character who wields a Nemo version. Again, I suck with pronunciation still. Anyways, and lastly, it says here that the Genshin Impact team confirmed that starting from version 2.0, all travelers, or players in this case, will be able to share the game progress across all platforms, including the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC, and mobile. And yeah, I think that's wonderful news to be able to finally be able to play on the platform that you want and switch between all those, and just, yeah, always a good thing to be able to give more choices to its players. Anyways, everyone, that does it for today's episode. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, as the watch time does significantly help with the algorithms with my channel. And it's my hope that I've earned your subscription in today's video, as it's my goal currently to try to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year of 2021. But anyways, everyone, I will finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.